Okay, I will have to start over again. My name is Juan Carlos, and I will go over the topic on how to create a new TerafLow component. Here, there are a lot of moving parts, and I will just go over the ones that you are going to need to create a new TerafLow component. First, we will have to talk about the infrastructure of TerafLow, and this is basically a set of pods with exposed ports that communicate with each other. I will not go into details of what component does what. So all I want you to have in mind is they are pods with exposed port, and they communicate each other using gRPC. gRPC is very it's unlike REST APIs. It was developed to have infrastructure with microservices communicating with each other. So we have several advantages here. First of all, its performance is very high. Second is platform independent, so you could have encoders and decoders using Python and C++, and they will communicate perfectly. And you can also have the commodity of just having to define the proto file, and then the code will generate automatically using scripts. So first of all, you will have to make the proto file, and then in there we are going to define the basic functionality of our new component. For the sake of simplicity, this component here, which is called logical resources service, is going to be just a pretty basic one for the sake of explaining a component. And all this component going to do is just provide a new IP address. So whenever we deploy a layer 3 VPN, we don't have to indicate the specific IP every time we have to deploy a new one. So a proto file, as you can see, is going to be yes. I have to switch between VS Code and PowerPoint. So
maybe what I propose is you come because here more or less that's why
okay.
You can see the slides. You have the slides easier.
Maybe I can do this if you want. Okay. So as I was saying, a proto file is divided in two parts, the messages and the services. The messages are basically a set of variables. Here you can use many. In this case, I'm using strings. You can use integers, characters, everything you need to create your services. And the services are going to describe how these messages are exchanged in both ends. So as I was saying, for the sake of simplicity and explaining this new component is going to have just one service, which is going to provide an IP. So this will be the first step of creating a component. You have to define the proto file. The proto file is also going to help you defining the basic task or the next steps. So what we are going to do is place this in this folder. In this proto folder. We are now on the root folder in Teraflow. Can you guys see the terminal? Can you guys read the terminal? More or less, I will make sure you can read it. What about now? Can you guys see? Okay. Here are all the proto files of all Teraflow components, and in this case, our new component is going to be placed here, the proto file. Okay. Okay. So, the next step is to generate the Python code. And for that, we are going to use this script here, which Teraflow has, and it will generate automatically the protobuf code. So I will not do it for now because I already did it. And what this is going to do is going to generate the methods that we need in order to communicate both ends. So this way we don't have to deal with all the complex stuff of sockets and all that stuff. Protobuf is going to do it for you. Next step, as I said, the protocol buffers use a gRPC port. So next step is to go over the configuration files in Teraflow. And first we are going to go over this folder over here. We are going to add just a couple of lines in this file. So as you can see, this is a configuration file Teraflow uses to deploy, and what we are going to do here is just adding a couple of lines. First of all, we are going to add the name of the new component to this list of names here, which Teraflow is going to use internally to make things tidy. And we are also going to add a new port that our new component is going to use. This is the one we are going to use for this new component, and we are ready to go for the next step. Next step will be to add the manifest file to the others that Teraflow already has. For this, from the Teraflow root folder, we will go to this manifest file folders. Sorry. Here we have the manifest file for all Teraflow components, and what we are going to do, we are going to copy an existing one, and we are going to modify just the parameters that we need to create our new component. I will open this this file over here, which is going to be our new component. And what we are going to change mainly is obviously the name, but most importantly, the port. The port here must be the same as the port we have indicated in the previous step. So it deploys and it exposes this port. What we are going to do next is adding this new component to the script that automatically deploys everything. So this script I'm talking about is this one, mydeploy.sh. And what we are going to simply do is just adding the name of our new component to the list of components that are going to be deployed. And just as simple as that, we will execute this script over here. This script, and what this is going to do is deploy everything. I am not going to do this because it takes quite a bit of time. And after the script finishes, we should have all the components running. Here we can see the logical resources service, which is our new component. And sorry, I forgot something. We are not going to deploy yet. Forget these two last steps. We will first need to create the component folder and go over the key files of this. We are not ready for deploy, sorry. After we add the name of the new component to the deploy, we need to fill some lines. We will follow this TeraflowSDN folder structure for the new component. Can you guys see it correctly, more or less? So this is going to be presented like this. We have the client side and we have the service side. We are going to focus on the service side because all the logic is going to be handled by this, and I will show you in a moment. We will go over the folder. So as you can see, we have here all the component files, and as I said, I will strongly focus on the service. Here we have multiple files. This one is basically empty. This is also a copy-paste from other, you can copy-paste it from other components. This is also a generic one, and all the logic and all the methods are going to be handled by the service implementation here. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to import the previously automatically generated protobuf code based on the protofile that we previously defined. And for the sake of simplicity, as I said, this component is just going to have one method, which is going to be providing an IP address. This IP address is going to consist of 4 numbers. The first 2 ones are going to be fixed, and the other 2 are going to be random. So that way we can create an IP address. This is the logic this component has. As I said, pretty simple for the sake of explaining this. And that's all. On the client side, we will have to create the stub, which is what gRPC uses to communicate with one another. And you can copy these 3 main methods from whatever component you want. This is all the same for all Teraflow components. And what these do is it automatically creates the endpoint based on the IP the Kubernetes assigns to each pod automatically. So the stub creates automatically using these methods. You can copy paste it and then change the name. And then once you have the connect and close methods, you can now handle the exchange of information. In this case, the only method we have is the one that we were previously talking about. This is going to provide an IP. So what this is going to do is just once, of course, the connection is created, so we will need to use this method first. We can now ask our service for a new IP. So what this is going to do in the client side is take that response and return the IP address. So now that we have all the component assembled, we are now able to deploy it. And once this component is deployed, we can now test the component. What I recommend you to do is, because this is a closed environment in a pod, is creating a separate client which you can use from the outside, which I have here. Here in this folder I have the protobuf code that I previously mentioned, the one that is automatically generated, and I will use it in this client test over here. Okay, so what this is going to do is this is going to connect to the endpoint of this component, and then it will create the stub, and it will send an empty message, so the new component replies back with the new IP. To see this IP, what we are going to do is describe the pod that is currently running, and we will just filter its IP. So as you can see, it it hasn't changed because I tested earlier. And what we are going to do is test it. So as you can see, this is the IP we were talking about. The two first numbers are fixed, and the last ones are random. This is also for the sake of simplicity, but in the future it will have to handle a database and more complex stuff. But for the sake of explaining this, I think this is fine. So yes, we are now going to go over the service because the service is what I have already mentioned. And when the service is functioning correctly, we can now go over the client side. So for the client side, the methods are going to be very similar of those described in this simple test. So as I said, for the client, what we are going to do is we are going to import this code, and we are going to use these methods. And where did we use this component? Well, as I said, this is going to use to create automatic layer 3 VPNs, so we don't have to ask the user every time for a new IP address. What we are going to do is, as I said, import the code of our new component. In this case, we are going to import the client side. We are going to initialize our client, then we are going to connect our client, and then we are ready to create a new IP using the method that we have already tested here. So what this is going to do, this is going to save this IP in this variable, so we can now create the layer 3 VPN without asking the user for a new IP. Okay, this is what we already done. So given that, this is the complete explanation on how to create a new TeraflowSDN component. I am sorry not to go over more details because I don't think I have more time. So thank you all, and I will be glad and pleased to answer your questions. Any questions?